In the beginning of the movie, we see a girl named Hyun-ju sleeping. While she's in a deep sleep, someone yanks her blanket away, waking her up. As she sits up to see what's going on, someone grabs her hair and throws her back onto the bed. It turns out the one doing this is her dad. Hyun-ju asks, "What are you doing?" But he doesn't answer her. Instead, he looks at her in a creepy way and says, "Look how big my little girl has gotten." Hyun-ju gets really scared hearing those words from her dad and starts to cry. After that, he moves from her hair to her face, which makes her even more frightened, and she has no idea what's going on. And then he leaves from the room. The next day, while Hyun-ju's mom is cooking, Hyun-ju is thinking about whether she should tell her mom what happened the night before. At the same time, her sister Sun-woo comes down from her room, and her brother joins them for breakfast, and then her dad shows up for breakfast, acting like nothing happened last night. This makes Hyun-ju think, he was looking at me weird last night, and now he's pretending everything's fine? She gets up and leaves. Then his mom comes in, bangs her food on the table, leaving everyone confused. After that, she starts eating like she hasn't had a meal in days, acting really strange. The kids start freaking out, and the son even spits out his food, saying there's too much salt in it. But then their mom grabs the same food and starts eating it like a maniac. She then tells her son to eat what she made, but he doesn't want to, so he looks over at his dad. His dad tells him, "If you don't want to eat, then don't." Hearing that, their mom glares at their dad in anger and throws the plates down, which really scares the kids. Then she tells them, "Whatever I make, just eat quietly." And then she starts yelling really loudly, which makes her son scared and start crying. But the real question is, what's going on with them? Ever since they moved into their new house, they've been having all these weird things happen. Hyun-ju's dad goes into her room every night and acts all strange. Then, while Sun-woo is taking a shower, someone just stands there near her. When she wipes the mirror, she gets freaked out because her sister scares her. After that, they both head to their room, and Hyun-ju tells her sister about it. Hyun-ju talks about how every night her dad comes into her room and does some really weird stuff, and Sun-woo is totally shocked that he can be like that. Just then, their dad shows up and overhears everything. He grabs a knife and tries to attack them, but Sun-woo pushes him away, and she and her sister run off. But then, suddenly, their dad is right in front of them again and yanks Sun-woo's hair, throwing her down the stairs, and she ends up falling and getting knocked out. Then his sister Hyun-ju runs away from there in fear and hides in a corner. Meanwhile, their dad starts looking for her with a hammer. On the other hand, Sun-woo regains consciousness and starts searching for her sister too. But when she turns around, she sees their dad standing in front of her with a hammer, ready to attack. Just then, Hyun-ju screams loudly, stopping their dad in his tracks. Then, Hyun-ju hits him hard with a bat, but it doesn't even faze him, and in anger, he starts attacking her with a hammer. Just then, their real dad comes up from downstairs. The fake dad drops his hammer and runs into another room. Their dad looks at his daughters and sees them stepping back, scared. He notices a big hole in the door and asks if they were fighting. But the girls stay silent. Then their brother walks in, and both sisters tell him to leave quickly. At the same time, their mom quietly picks up the hammer from behind. She walks over and starts attacking them. Just then, their dad tries to stop her, but she pushes him down. After that, she gives a really creepy smile and steps on some broken glass before going to her room. But then, their real mom calls from downstairs, asking what's going on. Everyone starts feeling scared of her. Their dad, afraid, opens the room door, but no one is there. He sees a hammer lying on the floor. The next morning, their dad calls their brother, who is a priest. The next day, the priest comes to their house and talks about strange things happening. But the older brother doesn't believe any of it. That night, they all decide to sleep in the same room. Around midnight, the little kid needs to use the bathroom, so he quietly goes alone. Just then, someone who looks exactly like him appears, holding a knife. He has a strange smile, and he wanted to kill the father, but something stopped him, like an invisible force holding him back. Just then, the father opens his eyes and realizes there is a dangerous spirit nearby. But he knows he can't fight it alone, so he calls an older priest for help. They all sit down together to talk about how to save the family from the spirit. In the end, they decide to do an exorcism. The next day, the father's team gets ready and goes to the family's house. Their brother comes to pick them up. But crows attack their car on the way. At the same time, the brakes stop working, making the car go out of control and crash into a ditch. Then, on the other side, their father ties Sun-woo to the bed. But the children's mother tries to stop him, but he says this is the only way to fix everything. Later, in the middle of the night, the priest stumbles home, covered in blood. He tells them that all the priests have been killed, so now they must do something. But he is afraid because the last time he tried to do the exorcism, the evil spirit killed the whole family. The priest is scared, and it might happen again, and if it does, they won't be able to forgive themselves and will regret it for the rest of their lives. But the brother, on his knees, begs him to save them from this demon, or it will kill all of them. After hearing that, the priest lights candles and sprinkles holy water on Sun Woo. Then Sun Woo starts screaming, totally confused about what is happening to her. After this, the priest places a cross on Sun Woo's chest and hits her with a stick. Sun Woo starts to scream in pain and asks them why they are doing this. Then the priest asks his brother if he wants to continue this, to which he holds his daughter's leg tightly so that she cannot move. Then priest starts hitting her hard with a stick again and Sun Woo starts screaming in pain and crying. Seeing her like this makes her father cry too. And the priest keeps hitting her with different sticks, and because of this, Sun Woo becomes unconscious. On the other hand, the police arrive at the scene of the accident, and we see that the father's brother is also passed out next to the priest's. This means that the guy in the house isn't really his brother, but instead, he's the devil himself, who's been beating up Sun Woo. Sun Woo's mom can't take this anymore, so she starts to stop the priest from hitting Sun Woo and tells her husband that it's better for us to die together than to do this. But he pushes her away and tells his brother to keep going. That's when his wife tells him that he's a coward and he is supporting the wrong man, which makes the husband very angry. He grabs his wife by the neck and starts choking her. She quickly picks up a glass and breaks it on his head. He gets even angrier and throws her against the wall, knocking her out. Then he looks at his brother, who is laughing in a strange way. So he decides to fight the demon too, but the demon knocks him down. Just as the demon is about to kill him, the real priest shows up and starts chanting some spells, causing the spirit to leave. After that, everything becomes calm again. After that, Sun Woo goes to the storage room, looking very hurt. Then she looks at her father and asks why he allowed that priest to beat her so badly. Just then, the priest holds up a mirror in front of Sun Woo, and the demon leaves her body. Then the priest takes the demon into himself and tells his brother to kill him. His brother pushes a broken cross into the priest's chest, and both the priest and the demon die together. And that is how the movie ends.